And we're live!
We're back.
Welcome to the Underdog Journey. I still can't say it properly the first time. I'm Wes, this is David.
I think everybody needs to go back to episode 1.
We were just talking about this.
On the intro that Wes gave us on episode 1.
Hi, I'm Wes. This is David. This is the Underdog Journey.
I don't think you got the name.
This is the Underdog page. The show.
This is the Underdog. These are chickens.
These are, right.
So, yeah.
So,
that was a good time.
Welcome back, and we are live at the Hopper House in Central Ohio. So if you are in Central Ohio, come down, have a drink with us, buy us a drink, maybe we'll buy you a drink, and it'll be lots of fun.
Uber down.
Uber. You know, we need to get a sponsorship with Uber. As much as we're here, we talk about. So I apologize for the crackle. I have bad cable again today. It's my fault. It's somewhere. Everything is somewhere. Is that you? Well, technical difficulties. Let's check this for a second, people. Well, I'm not frozen up. I think it's just you. Yeah, it's just you. So, all about priorities. What are we drinking on? Did I do that again? I did it again. I did it again with the microphone.
All right.
See? So our special guest this evening came early to do AV check. I checked his audio and video. I didn't check our audio and video.
So
and now
are we there now?
Now
All right,
we're there.
We got to start all over again.
Welcome to the Underdog Journey. I
And
said it
we're
right
back.
that time. I am Wes. This is David. And
now you can hear me.
Hopefully you can hear him now.
I said a lot of
professionals.
funny stuff. Just go with it.
Just pretend that he's hilarious, like I do. Ouch! Ouch!
Let's see. We have comments here already. Matt Harmon would like for you to take your shirt off or
So
something.
apparently Matthew Harmon doesn't have much to do tonight because he's commenting on our show a lot.
Hashtag. We got a hashtag Captain Matt. I'm not really sure. I
Nicole
don't think
Leffingwell says good now, so she can hear us.
Oh, that's good.
Matt, you need to come on down here to the Hofbräu House, have beer
yeah,
with us.
bring it. Of course, his trademark hashtag Ding Dong.
Of course, hashtag ding dongs.
And
So-
then the panic sets in. He goes, "Oh no, where is West's uniform now?"
What is my uniform? Is this
The-
wouldn't happen
well-
to be the camouflage we wore 2 weeks ago?
No, the camera. Okay, if you guys want just pure entertainment, no business at
Oh,
all,
no.
go back and watch the camo episode.
So
that
my,
was awesome.
my current wife looked at me that day and she's like, "Thank God you don't wear camouflage on a regular basis."
No, your uniform is usually you have a T-shirt on with the button up over it, but the button up's on.
So my uniform is that my button up is buttoned up.
Yes, right now your button up is button up, and
I'm buttoned.
he's having problems with that. So he said, "West, unbutton your shirt," and then he texted me. He said, "Hey, unbutton West's shirt." I
You
said,
know what?
"No."
We haven't had nearly enough to drink yet, Matt.
Nah,
I
yeah.
apologize for that. So
That's
speaking
it.
of which-
Oh, he wants to plug his plug of the Little Red Hen photography,
Of course
and
he does.
he actually did the photography for my wedding 7 years ago now.
How was it?
It was great. He did a great job. So
Okay.
yeah, plug away, my
You're
friend.
a little biased.
Yep.
Yeah, if you want some good photography, call Matthew Harmon at Little Red Hen.
Yeah, Little Red Hen.
He actually does great work.
Yeah, he does.
actually does
He does
really
great
great
work.
We rib on you, Matt, but that's only because you keep talking about candy corn.
Yes. I don't think he's come up yet.
So,
All right. So what are we doing tonight?
well, we have a special guest with us, but
Wait.
before we get to that, it's all about priorities.
What are you drinking?
What are we drinking tonight?
Well, I don't know. What do you got?
I have the Hopfenweizen.
Hopfenweizen.
Hopfenweizen. It's very German, if you didn't notice. It's basically a Hefeweizen with you're drinking water.
I'm drinking water.
It's basically a Hefeweizen that's been hopped up. It's got the hops.
Yes.
It's hopped up on the hops.
When you get to that,
It's pretty good, though. It's pretty tasty.
Because I'm drinking the regular Hefeweizen over
Yeah.
here. But with that beer, when you smell it, you can smell the hops in it. But it's got a lot of citrus in it that kind of quashes the bitters.
Well-
so it doesn't have that typical. It's like more of a New England style IPA.
Yeah.
So you don't get that back end bite so bad that I hate that.
Well,
bite.
you know, with normal IPAs, it's bitter all the way through.
Yeah.
Even on the back end, you get the bitter aftertaste. The
Yeah.
reason I don't like that though. That's why I'm
Yeah.
not an IPA guy. The reason I like this though is because it's very hop forward. Right at the beginning,
Yes.
you get the hops.
Yep.
But afterwards, you
It's
get
gone.
no aftertaste.
It's gone.
You get no. It's
The
great.
drink is gone. The citrus in there just really calms it down, and it just smells delicious.
And they just tapped this last night, so you
yes.
were here for the keg tapping.
Yes, I was here for the. I was here
Another
for the keg.
another keg tapping.
Yes, I didn't do that. Actually, our buddy John Callender did the keg tapping last night. So, congratulations to him. He was successful, and we all had beer.
Well, that I would call that a good night.
So yeah, but I'm mostly sticking to water. Again, mainly because I was here last night with the keg tapping.
So tonight we actually have a great guest. So this is a guy I've been watching his content on YouTube for a long time now. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on. We have, let's see, make sure everybody can hear us. We have Rus Wilson from Aquarimax Pets. So
He
Rus,
started this job after he got done playing for the Seattle Seahawks.
Is this?
This is wait, Russ. First of all, you have
He
to
might
know.
have heard this before. He might have.
Russ, West knows nothing about any sport whatsoever.
Yeah, he
So
told me about this. I'm like, is this,
I can
is
make
this
all
a
kinds
real
of
guy?
jokes, and he just gone.
I assume you've heard this before, Russ.
Well, I know very little about sports myself, but since I share a name with the Seahawks player, I have become familiar with him.
There you go. Exactly. So yeah, I know nothing about sports. He could literally have said anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, Walt Disney plays for the
Now you'd know Walt Disney.
Columbus Spoilers. I don't know, whatever the thing
The
is.
Columbus
I'm
Spoilers.
just making up names now.
The Columbus spoiler, and you came up with spoilers. Ladies and gentlemen, Columbus spoilers drop back.
Tell me
And the
that's-
pitch is in. Oh, it's high and to the left.
Look, tell me that couldn't be the name of an actual team. We have the Crew.
I believe
that much
I
different?
believe that it's the team formerly known as the Crew. They're the Columbus
Soccer
FC.
Club. Columbus
Football club.
Which does make more sense.
It doesn't make sense. They're not playing football. They're playing soccer.
They're playing. That's true. That's true. American soccer is different from European football. It's a very different. So
Yes.
on to the topic. Thanks for joining us, Russ.
Vinny Jones on next week.
Yeah. By the way, I have our. Hang on, I got to do something here. There we go. I had you on the wrong side. Our name was under Russ, and we were on. It was a whole thing. So I'm glad you tuned in early to get the AV checked.
Did you look over here too?
So Russ, I'm glad you came early to get all that worked out. So we're not live looking like this. So you run Aquarium Pets. Go ahead and tell us about your business.
Okay. Well, it's based in critters and animals of various sorts, as one might expect. I focus largely on isopods and isopod-related merchandise, I guess, due to the fact that that's what a lot of my YouTube channel is focused on. And that's kind of what I do. That's been a passion of mine to work with animals for a really long time of various kinds. I've kept and bred many different kinds of fish, mammals, birds, and I keep reptiles, amphibians, and lots of invertebrates. So I've been doing it ever since I was a kid, taking care of this kind of stuff. So I eventually decided, well, I can make some money doing this. I probably should.
Yeah, I mean, it's I would think it's a smaller niche than a lot of channels you see out there on YouTube, but it has a loyal following. People get into this.
It keeps growing.
Yeah.
It keeps growing, which is fun.
So how did you get started? Like, what made you? What was the straw that broke the camel's back that made you realize, oh wait, I can actually do this? Like what? He's smiling over here.
I was thinking about this when we were talking about some of the questions we might discuss, and it's kind of tricky to put my finger on it, but I did just because I've been doing something like this for a long time, to a smaller degree. I mean, when I lived in Hawaii back in 2004 to 2007, I was selling aquarium plants online. Okay, that's about all I could export legally from Hawaii because they have very tight rules, and I had to go get everything inspected before I shipped it out.
Yeah.
But I was doing it because I was growing enough aquarium plants. I had excess all the time, so I just figured, hey, I'd sell these. And then when I came back to the mainland here, I was selling live food cultures for fish, things like that, as well as aquarium plants. And then a few years ago, I probably got into isopods about 8 or 9 years ago. And there was a natural progression was, I have plenty of isopods. I have more than I know what to do with. I better start selling these too. And then that got so popular, I just kind of focused there. I mean, the market has been growing ever since, and so I just kind of said, well, it's easier to do than a lot of the other stuff that I was doing, and the return's pretty decent, so I might as well go there.
Yeah, totally. So, a lot of the people watching this are more into business and whatnot. And again, for people who aren't in this niche, what we're talking about, the isopods and the invertebrates and this may seem kind of alien. I mentioned to you earlier, but the reason it's so relevant to what we're talking about is, you have a great business, and that's a great business model. And the fact that you're in a niche that you're filling really well, and actually building a great business out of it. I mean, there's a good story here to talk about. So. Have you always been into? So it sounds like you've always been into like unusual creatures, pets of different kinds, and that's kind of where this came from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Always been into that.
When you started in this niche, as far as making content goes, did you find it hard to kind of break into it? Did it seem like the community was open to your kind of input?
Well, it was kind of a funny transition because, like I mentioned before, I was doing mostly fish stuff.
Yeah.
My content was almost all fish aquarium related until around 2017 or so. And I was thinking, I'm doing all this other stuff. I'm just not putting it on my channel. I wonder if I should.
Yeah.
Is that going to, is that going to alienate my following? And my wife said, you know what? You love it. You should do it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You should marry that woman.
Yeah. And she was right. As soon as I did, that was when things really started to grow a lot more.
Yeah, and that kind of led into my next question, which is, your highest viewed video is on caring for goldfish, I think it was. But
right.
most of your newer content is all around isopods. But it's all about if you love what you're doing, it's gonna be an easier path for you to follow. It's not gonna seem like a chore when you're creating this content.
Right.
And you can really tell in watching your content, it just comes so smoothly and so easily to you.
Well, I really, really enjoy it. It's my passion, and I think it's not that I'm not interested in doing videos on fishing, or I am, but I feel like that is a much larger, there's a lot more content being produced there. And so I'm competing with a lot more people. I'm a smaller fish in a big pond, so to speak.
No pun intended.
In that realm, right. But with isopods, even though there are others that are producing content on it, it's more of an open field. I've got more potential there.
Yeah, totally. So for people who aren't really into this normally, an isopod's basically it's just a roly-poly. It's
right.
I may or may not be over here Googling isopods.
So it's funny. I actually found you from your isopod videos, and the reason I got into isopods is I started keeping ants with my son. We caught some queens, we're growing them, and I've been reading about people who get cleanup crews for their terrariums to keep them in, and so I got the springtails, which again for people who aren't into this sort of thing are little tiny creatures that crawl around in the soil and keep it clean.
They clean the dirt.
Well, they eat the poop. They eat the leftover bits of food here and there.
Welcome to the Underdog Journey. Let's teach you how to clean your poop.
Let's talk about cleaning poop. but it's really interesting, right? So, and then I started. My mic is going
I think we're
crazy.
Need to.
Yeah. There we go. I got to hold this here. Sorry about that, Russ.
Excellent.
So I also started hearing about isopods being part of that cleanup crew. So I found some outside. I stuck them in there. And started watching your content, and it was hypnotizing. Watching these little creatures crawl around. Some people get creeped out by it. I actually found it kind of relaxing watching these things just crawl around and do their thing.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing. So this is off topic. It's sort of on topic, but off topic. Off topic for business. So I told you I put the isopods in my ant terrarium, right?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize at the time how prolific they would be. They bred, and literally, so they were in there for a few months, nothing. And then, over the course of a weekend, I have thousands, hundreds at least, it seems like thousands, of tiny little baby isopods crawling all through there, destroying the nice, moss bed that I had in there. And now, since it's a terrarium and my ants are nesting in the area, until I remove the entire colony, I can't get rid of all of these isopods in there, so I think I'll just have to let nature take its course and let them balance each other out, because the ants don't mess with the isopods. They won't eat them. They won't eat the babies. Nothing. So
how about a spider? I would introduce a spider into the equation. To get rid of the spider, you can put a snake. To get rid of the snake, I would recommend a cat.
Right, and get an old lady to swallow them all.
I'm just saying, there's a chain of command here.
I'm going to build an entire food chain.
Yes.
So just so you know, Russ. So Russ actually. So I got some special zebra isopods.
Yeah, I've seen them on your post today.
Yeah, and I got those from Russ actually. So just so you know, Russ, I didn't put this in the same terrarium. They're in their own enclosure, and
that's good.
They're very happy. I've actually been a little bit of a isopod voyeur, and I've seen them breeding. So.
Yes.
Yep.
And we're off the air.
They're not shy. And we just lost Facebook. Which I'm not going to joke about that, Russ, because we've done that.
No. He says, blah 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 blah. Can I say that? Yeah. And we got cut off.
It was nothing vulgar. It was about a controversy that happened a few years ago
involving the owner of Facebook. Well,
literally the timing was blah blah blah. And I stopped for a second, can I say that? And immediately, boom, we're gone.
We're gone.
So I'm not saying that we were shut down, but I'm not going to try it again.
I'm just saying Vince McMahon watches this show all the time. Well, it's not Vince McMahon. That's WWF. Or WWE.
Vince McMahon might watch the show.
Who's
I
the
know
guy from
The
Facebook?
Rock does.
Oh, the
Mark
Rock.
Zuckerberg?
That's it. Mark
You mixed
Zuckerberg.
up Vince McMahon with Mark Zuckerberg?
They're practically the same person.
It's the same guy. Have you ever seen him in the same place at the same time?
No, you haven't.
It's the same guy.
You haven't.
Clearly, look
so
at
I've got just as much evidence as you do.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. So Russ, you have other streams of income associated with Aquarium Pets. Like, it's not just a YouTube channel, right? So, can you tell us about your website? You get a lot of business there. Now, which came first? Your website or the YouTube channel, or like the idea for which one?
It was the website. The website, I think, has been running in some form since 2008, somewhere around there. So it's been a long time.
Yeah. So, in addition to that, you also have, I assume your channel's monetized through YouTube.
Yes.
And you have Patreon set up with your YouTube as well. So,
yes.
So for people who aren't familiar with this, who are watching, once you hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, you can then monetize your videos. And for all the views that you get a cut of the ad revenue that they put the ads on your channel. Now, what you can also do is you can set an account with Patreon, and through Patreon, correct me if I'm wrong, Russ, you can actually create custom content to go on there, and people can go and donate at different levels, and for their donation, you can give them different types of content.
Right, exactly. And you can decide whether or not you want to do those tiers, and they get different benefits, or you just want to keep it one flat donation. Some people say, I just want everybody to donate $1. And other people say, I'm going to do a $1, a $5, and a $15, So, and I do have different amounts, anywhere from $1 to $50, depending on the patron per month.
Yeah.
And it makes a big difference in keeping Aquarium Pets going. It really does. I don't know how I do it without Patreon.
Yeah, totally. So what additional content do you provide? We have people out in the live studio audience talking to us here.
We
podcast.
It's every week we're down here. We get at least 2 or 3 people that try to talk to us from the tables up here, and almost without fail, at least one drunk lady who walks up here and gets
randomly
on camera.
walks up behind the camera and starts hanging out with us.
And I say drunk; they're not normally drunk, but they're a little more relaxed. We'll call it
social lubricant. There you go. It works. It's true.
And typically they come up and like, oh, what is that? And they'll get right between us and stare at
Yeah. It seems like we're a lot more popular if people don't hear us talking. I assume all these people don't want to hear us jabbering about business all the time.
To be honest, most of them, they're like, oh, I thought you guys were talking about the Buckeyes, the football team. And
right.
We're like, nope, it's a business podcast. And they're like, oh, okay.
Oh, womp, womp.
Yeah, I'm glad that wasn't over the air there. Oh, it's a good time. So where were we? We're talking about isopods.
Well, no, so Russ, we're talking about Patreon.
Oh, yeah, Patreon.
So what additional content do you provide for people at the different levels?
Well, for patrons, one thing that I do is they get first crack at asking questions when I do a live stream. So I post before I do my live stream in advance. I'll post and say on Patreon, do you have any questions you want to talk about? This is our topic for the day, or we're just kind of open for today. What do you want to talk about? And then I make sure I answer their questions, because of course on the live stream I'm not going to answer everybody's questions. It's not always going to happen.
Yeah.
And not all the patrons can be there, but they might want to watch the replay. And so I'll make sure that I'll address their questions as thoroughly as I can. Another thing that I'll do is post sneak peeks. Like if I have a new species that I got a hold of, or something, one of my species reproduced for the first time, something interesting like that's happening, some sort of project, I'll post a lens video, which is basically a temporary video that's short and lasts for 24 hours. So I'll put that up there and say, hey, look, this is what's going on. And they'll get that sneak peek, and then maybe a week later, everybody else finds out what it is. Things like that.
Yeah. And that makes sense considering how loyal, people in this niche are.
Right.
There's so few people making the kind of content that you make. People are just hungry for it.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, I'd like to do more, but I'm torn between, I don't want to create a paywall for like YouTube, and so I haven't done that. but I do try to give sneak peeks on things that are going on, and sometimes I'll even ask them opinions, and they'll say, hey, I got a video coming up on this. Which of these thumbnails do you like? And a lot of times they'll enjoy like pitching in and saying, I like this thumbnail because, and it'll help me make an informed decision, but it lets them, connect in a different way too.
It's awesome.
Yeah, totally. So, do you find that your other social channels support your YouTube, or do you find it like vice versa, like you help to expand in other areas because of your YouTube?
I think it's a two-way street, really.
Yeah.
It was easy for me to develop an Instagram following pretty fast because I already had a YouTube following. And I find that posting on Instagram, which also, essentially automatically posts to Facebook and Twitter, keeps both of those kind of hopping. I'm always posting something. I try to post 6 days a week. I take a day off because everybody needs to get away from social media once in a while,
Yeah.
But 6 days a week, I'm posting something there, and people will contact me about things I have for sale through those channels. People will say, oh, I'm from YouTube, and I just found this, and this is awesome. I didn't know you were here. And I find people going the other way, like, oh, let me check out your YouTube channel, because I've been checking out your pictures on Instagram. So, yeah, they all build on each other.
Yeah. So, your website also interests me a lot. So, your website you're mostly taking custom orders on the website. Have you thought about building like a full e-com functionality on there?
I have. In fact, I've been thinking about it for a long time, and probably about 80% done converting the website.
Yeah.
But I am so busy lately that I just need the time to carve out that extra 20% before I can go live. And I haven't found it.
Right.
It's probably been sitting there for 2 months, just at 80%, because I had, a chunk of time sat down and carved that out. But now I just have to wait for another one.
Right, and that's it. Just trying to find the time to get it done.
Well, you said you're doing this 6 days a week. How far out do you plan this content?
Yeah.
Well, on my Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, I'm just posting an image or a short video clip. Mm-hmm. So that is easy to do. And sometimes that comes from a YouTube video that's coming up, or something like that. But as far as the YouTube videos that I release, I'm doing 2 a week. One's a live stream, and then one is edited video that I've done ahead of time. And ideally, I'm at least a month ahead on the edited videos.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
On the live streams, generally I try to be a month ahead or more on guests, because I try to do a guest at least once a month. And then I'm doing by myself the other days, and so that's not nearly as much preparation ahead of time. But to be honest, I'm not a month ahead anymore, and sometimes lately it's been really just down to the wire because life has gotten so crazy.
Yeah, totally. So, here's actually a good question that I just thought of. So, the events of 2020. So we don't say the COV word on the show. Because the social the social channels don't like that. So due to the events of 2020, and people were kind of locked inside, did you find your following grew much? I saw a lot of YouTube channels just exploded last year.
Mm-hmm. I did find that my channel grew significantly during that time, and my sales went up.
Yeah,
as
totally.
well. And I think that has to do with partly just the fact that people were sitting around in the house and watching YouTube videos and saying, hey, I want some of those. And partly because I chose at that time, in the past few months, and I don't remember exactly what it was now, but I noticed a huge boom in business when I said, sometimes when I have a live stream, I'll mention the fact that I have a website and I sell isopods on it, and people will say, what? You sell isopods? Really?
Right.
And you have a website? And I thought, okay, I'm just going to do a live stream that talks about my website, talks about what I do. So I did. And it was a mixed blessing because immediately I was slammed with orders and kept being slammed with orders for a long time. And the only reason I'm not slammed with as many orders now is because I had to let my stock breathe for a while so I could catch up.
Right, exactly. So, I'm hesitant to mention, other channels. This, the channel I'm going to mention isn't a competitor of yours, so I'll mention it. Ants Canada. That guy, I know you know the channel. So, every one of his videos, at the beginning and the end, he's plugging his website. He's plugging away.
Yeah.
And, it seems pretty lucrative.
Yeah.
Have you thought about, just really just going full bore and pushing away and maybe, upping your reserve of stock in the background while this happens?
Yeah, I'm kind of working on that to some degree, but I'm finding myself up against a rock and a hard place to some extent.
Yeah.
As I'm sure most businesses get to that point when they're a side hustle where they say, well, this is looking like it could go somewhere. But I'm getting to the point where time and other resources are being stretched to the limit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to either have to jump in the dark, and it's going to be a pretty long jump, or I have to hold off for a little while. And that's where I am.
Wait, we're going to give you the advice we've been telling everybody since day one.
Mm-hmm.
When's the best time to plant a tree?
30 years ago.
When's the second best time to plant a tree?
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Oh, I hit the thing. I'm sorry.
True, and I do believe that. I think that's good advice. And I'm glad I started my YouTube channel a long time ago, because that's, I'm reaping the benefits of that tree that I planted. But at the same time, there are other things I could be doing now, and hopefully I am doing some of those things. But yeah, I totally see what you mean.
Yeah, and it really does make a difference, because every day that goes by, somebody who has one of those ideas is like, oh, that's $1 million idea. Before long,
somebody else has that idea, and it's
somebody else had the same idea,
and they're going, "Hey, you know what? I didn't plant this tree 30 years ago. I better plant it today." And off they go.
Yeah.
And I've seen that myself, where I have an idea. There's ideas I had 10 years ago, and now I'm seeing people implement those ideas, and I think, darn.
Yeah, to me it was Amazon. Amazon was my idea. Gone.
For me, it was Facebook, and then Vince McMahon came along and took my idea.
Yeah, Vince McMahon.
Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, I think so.
It was one of those guys. I don't know. It might have been the Winklevoss.
Hey, do you want to get kicked off here again?
Oh, I can't even. You're right. Good point.
You can't mention that.
Can I say that on the line?
No.
And we just lost
and
Facebook.
We're gone. Hello, YouTube viewers.
And we're still on YouTube. So you mentioned it's a lot of work, and it totally is. All of this stuff is a lot of work. What does your team look like? Is it just you? Does your wife help? Do you have any employees at this point?
Okay. Well, it is I would say kind of a family business, and we all have divisions of labor. I'm the customer service. I, of course, produce all the content. Occasionally, I get some help from family with the content, but generally it's just me. As far as the video content I put on YouTube and all the other social media channels. But I am planning on getting my daughter to help a little bit more with that. She's helped some, and that would be cool to do more of that. My wife is the accountant. She works with all the money matters, and that's great. And then I have 4 kids. They're all, the youngest is 15. The 15-year-old daughter makes her pocket money by taking care of isopods, eventually, and other creatures around the house. And that's how she does it. And my son, my younger son, who is now an adult, fairly recently became an adult. He also works for me, taking care of critters, and he also handles shipping.
Oh, great! That's awesome.
So we do get a lot done that we couldn't otherwise do. I could not do this by myself. I need all of them doing what they do to make this work. And it's good because it helps benefit the family, because of course I'm helping to both my son and daughter are making money, and they're benefiting that way. And a portion of what we make goes to the family as well, and then a portion needs to go back into the website and all the other channels and everything else to keep things rolling and growing. But there's some coming into the family to help with make ends meet, so that's great.
Oh, totally. And it's funny. People don't realize how much work goes into this kind of stuff. We keep going on about everybody needs to do this kind of stuff, and everybody does need to, in my opinion, everybody should have a podcast, a live stream, a YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, for Pete's sake.
Yeah, you can sleep when you're dead.
But the problem is, there's not that many hours in the day. It's funny,
right.
People come in. We've had guests come in, live, and I think they're envisioning in the first place just like a phone setup.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe a laptop. And they come in and we got a soundboard and cameras and mics and lights. And
all this stuff. And they walk in and they're like, whoa, wait a minute.
It's a little more than I was expecting.
You know what? Here, how about you just read this stuff off that I wanted to talk about?
Or even on a quick, weekly thing, he'll be on me for a half hour before we start. Hey, we ready to go?
You ready to go?
I'm still setting this stuff up, David. I'm still doing stuff. So, and then afterwards, to get stuff edited and then posted in different locations, and even like you do, if you chop things up into smaller segments and then post that out, it takes time.
It really does.
I got to say, I'm very happy that we do a live cast, that we don't have editing.
Well, there's no editing on this, but very soon I'm gonna start, chopping this up. So Russ, this is basically gonna be our main pillar content that I'm then going to take pieces of and post that around different areas. In addition, I think later this year we've both made the commitment to make content every single day.
Yeah.
And
I'm ripping this straight off of my favorite YouTube channel, which is Cletus McFarland, where it's actually going well. It was last month.
He's a car guy.
The month of freedom, and he posts content every single day. Now he doesn't do live casts. It's recorded and edit and everything is. And some of the stuff is earlier that day. He's recording it.
Yeah.
He stays up, and there was one time last year he ended up posted, and he ended up having to go live and playing it because it wasn't uploading to YouTube correctly.
Yeah.
So he did a live stream then to play the video there.
Yeah.
So so we're gonna do something similar to that, and then we have a pretty cool thing coming up in December.
Oh, are we going to mention that now?
Yeah, we're going to mention
that. So Russ, this is an exclusive.
Yeah.
We're getting some exclusive news here.
Yeah.
I don't know how big a history buff you are, American history.
So,
but this is pretty interesting.
Yeah, the Boston Tea Party was planned, and I made a mistake last week. It's actually December. I don't know what I was thinking about November, but the Boston Tea Party was executed in December. And we are going back. We got invited to go to the Green Dragon, the pub in Boston, Massachusetts, where the planning for the Boston Tea Party took place.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
we're going in December. Wes and I will both be there. I was actually there last week. That's where I cast from last week.
Yeah.
So when I was working out the details to try to get into one, I was like, all right, well, if I hit this far, I might be able to hit a home run. So I went ahead and kept on going.
So on the anniversary of the Boston Tea Party, we're going to be in the pub where it was originally planned.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a cool show.
That's going to be a good show. I think that show. I think that show. We might want to try to see if we can find a historian or somebody that can speak with.
Well, we got to get the current owner.
Yeah. Well,
if she's willing to come on, we got to get her.
If they'll come on, yeah.
And then So we'll plan on that out. Let's get back to Russ.
Yep.
So this is the show you tuned into. We're a couple of cats in a room full of cat stuff. So
what an analogy!
We are true wordsmiths over here.
We're a couple of cats.
This is in a room full of cat stuff. I'm gonna put that on a T-shirt. So it's gonna happen.
Time for that T-shirt.
See, there you go. Actually, I like your T-shirt. What do you got there on the T-shirt? You got?
Let's see if I can show you. Try.
10 reasons I heart isopods, and it's 10 different isopods. So there's a lot of different kinds of roly-polies out there, and they vary a lot. It's once you get into it, it's actually really cool. So the funny thing is I watch your channel a lot with my son, who is maybe one of the biggest nerds I've ever known, which is awesome. He just turned 6, but he's the only kid I have to imagine in the entire world who would rather pretend to be a vinegaroon than some sort of an athlete. And see the look on his face? Exactly. And here's the funny thing.
What the bloody hell is a vinaigrette? What?
Exactly. So here's the funny thing, Russ. So, when my son was 5 at the time.
Google.
And he likes to look at pictures of like aliens and monsters and things on our iPad. And he asked my wife and I to find pictures of vinegaroon for him.
Holy mother of pickles.
There, exactly. So, and he's 5, right? So he has a good imagination, to say the least. And we thought he was making up a word. And we're like, all right, what is that, buddy? And he starts describing what it looks like and what the pedipalps do, and we just assume this is something he's making up because it sounds so alien. We're like, I don't think they have pictures on Google of something from your imagination, buddy. And he's like, no, Dad, no, it's real. It looks a lot like a
demon?
No, what was the other thing he said? It looks like
a scorpion?
He said, no, Dad, it looks just like the amblypidget, only it it looks just like the amblypidget, only smaller legs and the pedipalps. And he went through the whole like anatomical difference. Started talking about the acidic liquid they excrete from their abdomen, and we're like, no, buddy, they don't have pictures of things from your imagination on Google. So we actually had to look these things up, and we're like, holy cow, these things are real, and they look like demons. They look like monsters.
I think this is a spider that Mad Eye Moody used
I think it is.
I think it's what it is.
So my 5-year-old son is telling me about these things. I'm like, I have no idea how he knows this stuff, but apparently watching your channel is really influencing him.
That's very cool.
No. I want to know, has he ever woke up in the middle of the night with a bad dream? What does he dream about that actually scares him? If he's wanting to pet this thing, he's like, oh, look at this cute thing. What actually, because if I might, I don't know if I'm going to sleep tonight, man. These things are freaking terrifying.
They look like aliens. If somebody described...
That one's got pinchers. That one right there will eat. That right there. Look at that.
If somebody described... So for people watching and listening who don't know, if somebody described the characteristics of a vinegaroon or an amblypidget, which these sound like made-up words, it would sound like you're describing like a made-up alien. They don't even sound real. It's nuts.
They really do look like aliens, sure.
Oh, my Lord.
He's going to start having nightmares now.
Yeah. Yep. I'm getting me a bottle of Raid to go to bed tonight.
So Russ, back to your content. So, when you're creating content, do you batch out a lot of it? Do you pre-produce a lot of it and then stagger when it's released? I know you said sometimes it comes up to the line. But do you plan these things far enough ahead of time to actually create them like, a week out and then just stagger them so you don't have to worry about if you're going to be on time?
That is always my goal, and when everything is going well, I'm usually 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month ahead of time is what I really shoot for, is to be a good month ahead of time. But it doesn't always happen, but I do try to say, okay, well, I'm going to try to record 2 this week, and then at least I'll never be behind if I'm always doing 2.
Right.
But, the best laid plans of mice and men, things happen.
Now, do you have a social media calendar? One of the things that we always push is actually keeping a social media calendar, which, look, I'll admit, I'm weak on myself. I need to get better at it. But you have some kind of a calendar that you physically keep. So, if you have an idea, you just jot it down on there. So that way, when it comes up to the week of, you're not like trying to brainstorm what you're going to talk about.
Maybe I should do that, because I feel like, for whatever reason, I never run out of ideas. Mm-hmm. Never. Because even if I were to run out of ideas myself, which I haven't done yet, other people suggest them. So I have plenty on tap. It's usually a matter of, okay, well, I got these half a dozen ideas that I'm working with right now. Which one am I going to do? Rather than what should I do? Then what should I do has never come up, and I've been releasing at least 1 video a week since 2016.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's good. Yeah.
And so, most of that time I've been doing 2. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's really impressive. So, we're actually coming up on a year here ourselves. We're number 46 today.
Yeah.
And fingers crossed we haven't missed a week yet. So you also once a week you do a live stream. I think it's about once a week. Do you find a lot of growth and engagement, following a live stream?
I would say that it's interesting that the group that joins the live stream, the group that watches everything else, there's of course some overlap. I mean, there's going to be overlap for sure, but it tends to be, to a large extent, that there's the diehards that are really, really strong fans that watch both. And then there are the people who mostly watch one or mostly watch the other. Mm-hmm. But I do find that, I generally get some new people going from a live stream, because enough people like it, and then it starts being served out to other people, and I'll generally get some growth out of it.
Yeah, and because of the one-on-one engagement is why I love live streams.
Yeah,
I feel like people get just the feeling of having the one-on-one conversation with you that you get from live stream, just gains you that much more loyalty from your viewers, right? So,
Right.
you know, I recommend to everybody with a business that they want to push, even if they don't
Yeah.
want to post videos, they at least need a live stream to help to gain and solidify that relationship with their viewers. And a lot
Definitely.
of people, and you know, I think what holds a lot of people back is it seems intimidating, right? It seems like a lot of work, which it's not super easy. There's a learning curve involved. I mean, again, look at our first couple episodes, for Pete's sake. But
This is the Underdog Journey.
oh, I wish it was that
Wes.
entertaining.
This is Dave.
I wish it were that entertaining. But so, what do you use for a setup? Like, what does your technology look like?
Okay. Well, I've got a couple of different setups that I use depending on what I'm doing. For guest live streams, I usually use my desktop computer,
Yeah.
and I have a USB mic that I plug into the computer, and I've got the headset that I'm wearing now, of course. And then got a ring light, which is better than nothing. It's
No,
here,
ring light,
and
it's
then
great.
my webcam, and that's essentially what I use with that. I use StreamYard for the guests, basically because I was exposed to StreamYard. It seemed fairly easy and free. I mean, you can get the free version, and it works pretty well for what I was doing. So I stuck with that. And then I have my other setup, which I use when I'm doing edited videos. I have a softbox setup, and this backdrop that I have behind me is a real backdrop. It's not like a Zoom background kind of thing, So
I was actually
purchased
wondering about that
this.
earlier. Was whether whether that was a digital backdrop or whether you actually had that.
Right, and I bought this on Amazon for $12 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then just hang it up. And then I have another one that's hanging up permanently on my wall. This one's temporary because I'm in my kitchen right now, and I can just hang it up when I need it. And then the other one is just on the wall. And then I have a softbox set up for lighting down there. And then I have a tripod I can put my iPad Pro on, which is what I use to film.
Yeah.
And then I've got a lav mic with an extension that I just plug into my iPad, and that's basically my setup.
So yeah, so I'm making sure I heard you right. You said your camera that you use is your iPod Pro.
My iPad Pro.
iPad Pro.
iPad
Your
Pro.
camera's your iPad Pro. So you don't have you're not set up with a big DSLR or anything like that.
Right, because
That's great.
The iPad is it'll film in 4K,
Yeah.
so it films pretty well. And the nice thing is it's one-stop shopping. I can film, edit, and post all on the same device.
Yeah.
And that saves me a huge amount of time.
Right. So that just shows a lot of people who would be have
Let's say
issues with it being expensive or complicated.
Well, yeah, they come in, they look at this. We've got twin lights up here, which we have a duplicate set of these now too.
We might
have
be overkill,
A mixer.
is
We have a
what we're
mixing
trying to say.
soundboard. Well, what happened was we wanted to show people what they can do.
Right.
I think we should do one of these. I've got an iPad Pro in that bag.
What they
right
can
there.
do without all this stuff.
Without all this, you
Yeah.
don't need all of this.
Well, it's funny.
Right.
So I was reading something the other day that the whole work from home situation that is becoming permanent for a lot of people now has led the rise in what's being called the Cloffice. The Cloffice. CLO office. So that's the level of we're working out right now because that's how I spell Cloffice. Basically an office in a closet. And, with just a simple backdrop you can get from anywhere, an iPad for the camera, and a you don't even need a laptop, really. You're set.
Yeah, I mean, just,
and I think a little supplemental lighting is necessary.
Sure.
And a supplementary microphone like the lav mic that I use.
Yeah.
Those I would not do without.
Mm-hmm.
But that's still, you're not very far. I mean, you're not spending a lot for those things.
yeah. Hey, I can do 8K with this.
That's amazing.
I can do 8K video with this thing right here. But it limits the amount of recording time you can do to 5 minutes. At 8K.
At 8K. But at 4K.
But at 4K, I can record unlimited. Well, I mean,
Right.
512 gigs.
I mean, we could probably stream that to a laptop and stream it out from there.
Yeah, or just stream it out to restream.io.
And you mentioned that you use StreamYard, which is use the free version of StreamYard, which is really interesting. So we've talked about streaming platforms in the past, right? So Russ, we're on Restream, which is a paid service. So we have the subscription, which for people watching, what that does is it's a piece of. So we use a combination of two softwares. We use Restream for distribution, and for to bring all the technology into the laptop, we use Ecamm Live. So Ecamm Live brings in cameras. It can bring in multiple cameras. It can set up overlays like we have here. It can set up different microphones and different special effects. That then ports into Restream, and then that Restream is cloud-based, and that distributes to the different social platforms.
So instead of
what
us,
you're using,
instead of us trying to stream out to this and this and this and this, and sending full data streams out to this website, this website, this website, this website, we send one out to Restream, and it does its broadcast from there.
Right. Now, what you're using is StreamYard, and correct me if I'm wrong, Russ. It's browser-based, which means it's part of your. It's a platform that you log into from your web browser. You send your video feed to that, and that then distributes to your different social platforms.
Correct.
And you're using a free version of that, so literally anybody can sign up for this.
Yeah.
And the only, I believe the only payment that they require, if you can call it a payment, is that they get to put their logo on your video.
Yep, they have a little corner watermark in your video, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no excuse for other people not to hop on there and start doing the same thing.
Yeah. And it's super easy to use, both for the podcaster or streamer and the guests. Extremely easy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And just so everybody watching knows, we don't have affiliate links. We're not trying to sell anything. We're just letting you know about technology.
Yeah, that's one of the things we've also been very particular about is we don't peddle anything on here that we don't like, that we don't use. So if Bill Gates wanted to send me all of his Windows computers and whatnot, guess what? Ecamm Live only runs on Mac.
It's just a Mac platform. Bill, I'm sorry. I got to turn down your offer.
I'll take them. I'll sell them on eBay.
Mr. Gates, I apologize.
Me and Bill are like that.
Yeah, you, Bill, and
Elon.
Vince McMahon.
Elon, no. Actually, I'd rather hang with Elon Musk than either one of the others.
Elon Musk is okay. I'm not going to get into it. He texted me last night saying Elon Musk was having drinks with you last night, but I won't get into that.
Did I tell you that?
Yes, you did.
Oh,
I won't get into that story. So that's the kind of show
after we let our guests
tonight,
go.
Russ. I apologize. So Russ, to close up, what is the future? Like, what's your roadmap look like for Aquarimax Pets?
Well, I'm still trying to figure that out, I guess, because, like I said, it was fairly recently when I noticed that there was sort of a quantum leap in demand.
Yeah.
And I realized that if I had enough supply, I could go far with that. And so right now I'm trying to figure that out. Can I actually do that? And how could I do that? So sort of in the planning phases, I guess, of where that is. But I think one of my favorite things about all of this is just doing what I love and sharing with people and helping them do it too.
Right.
And if I can figure out ways to be able to do that more, that's what I want.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I'll tell you what we're going to do now is Wes is going to work his voodoo magic over there, and in the comments down below, wherever we put them, is it down here?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're going to put a link to our toolbox. We threw it up there a couple weeks ago. We're going to put it up there again. Russ, go on to this. Follow this link. Actually, he might.
Well, I'll tell you what, Russ. I'll send you our toolbox. It has all of our different marketing tools that we recommend.
And it's got the calendar.
Step-by-step stuff. Has the social media calendar that you can use. This is stuff that I give to all my personal clients for marketing.
Yeah.
And for everybody watching, I will put it in the comments. And I'll actually add it to this description this time. I know I've said that I've done that in the past, but I'll do it for real this time. And everybody who wants to go to the marketing toolbox, see if there's tools you like, you want to use them.
Yep.
Feel free. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not going to sell you anything. But Russ,
it is behind an email wall, but we don't really do anything with it. It's just another example of how to use the technology and the data.
Yeah. But Russ, you are using all the technology at your disposal really well. Your following is really growing. Just from the time that I've been watching, I started early 2020 really watching your content hard. But you're doing really well, and your growth looks great at this point.
Well, thank you. It's exciting. It's exciting to hear it too.
Absolutely, it's exciting to watch. So look, I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming up with Aquarimax Pets. And everybody watching and listening, go to Aquarimax Pets on YouTube. Find them on Facebook. I think it's just Aquarimax. No, it's Aquarimax Pets on Facebook and just Aquarimax on Instagram. We'll put links everywhere that we're posting this. And Russ, thanks for joining us, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun for me, too.
Yeah. All right. We will talk to you soon.
All right.
Have a good one.
Again.
Stay
Right.
safe.
You too.
Okay. So that was Rus Wilson from Aquarimax Pets.
That was Rus Wilson from Aquarimax Pets. Demon spiders. Your son is like, hey, Dad, can you get me some demon spiders?
Hashtag demon spiders.
Hashtag demon spiders indeed.
You're telling me I should look up these
You need
demon
to Google
spiders?
this up, and you need to show these people, because
What?
these people don't know how terrified they should be. These things aren't fake; they're real.
These are real things. So my son, yeah, he told me he loves vinegaroons. That's his thing right now.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I Googled up was vinegaroons. I'm like, whoa.
and I thought it was a made-up word. He was just
Yeah.
playing.
Hello, father. Might you purchase me some vinegaroons? I thought it was like a dessert made in France.
So these are
Gee,
vinegaroons. This is the nice, loving face of a vinegaroon.
Yes. A face only a mother could love.
But here's the funny thing, right?
No, the mother tried to eat his face off.
So they don't bite.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm not putting that in my hand to find out.
They don't bite. They're not venomous. But I will say, my 5-year-old son taught me this. Their abdomen, where this kind of little whip comes out,
Yeah.
secretes acid that's stronger than battery acid.
So,
So
He
yes,
claims
so
they
yes,
don't bite you.
They are aliens, but they will spit acid at you like Alien.
they will squirt butt acid at you.
Butt acid.
Butt acid.
Hashtag butt acid. Welcome to the Underdog Journey. Hashtag butt acid.
Hashtag butt acid.
I was going to say something. I'm not going to say it. It had to do with Taco Bell.
Well, there goes our chance to ever get an affiliation with Taco Bell.
And we just lost a sponsor.
And there's a sponsorship gone. Vinegaroons. Oh, my God. Oh.
Yeah, vinegar.
I just closed it down, and now the R page is up here, and I see him again.
You're on the delay. Now
I
you have nightmares.
Literally thought that they were just tracking me down and trying to squirt their butt acid on me. Oh.
So Laura L. Lyons Black joined us late in the show.
Yep.
Hello, Laura. You joined at just the right time.
Yes.
We're talking about butt acid.
Talking about butt acid. And so isopods. I was reading through a lot of isopods. Now, I want to read you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to read this to you. Isopods are not harmful to humans.
No, they're not. Oh, no.
Although they have dozens of sharp claws on their underside and chambers. They are said they can have They are quite vicious and capable of giving a nasty nip if you pick them up.
Look,
So they're not harmful to humans, but they want to be.
anything with mandibles can technically bite you. But look, you show
Yes.
me any kid in the world who hasn't played with roly-polies.
Well, you see,
Tell me you
growing up, I called them pill bugs.
Pill bug. Tell me
Yeah.
you've never played with pill bugs or roly-polies.
Yeah.
That's an isopod. Oh, look up giant aquatic isopods. Look at these monsters. You want to see some monsters?
Now, I would like to also point out the fact that they actually call out terrestrial isopods on here
Are
as
there
well.
extraterrestrial?
So I'm assuming the other ones are extraterrestrial. And I'm not Googling them.
I think they're talking about the aquatic isopods. So I'm going to show you.
These are things that are printed in the Quibbler by Xenophilius Lovegood.
No, so I'm going to show you a giant
Gee, Merry
aquatic
Christmas.
isopod. This is a giant aquatic isopod. At the bottom of the deep blue sea, Cha-Cha, these are the things that live. So be glad that we don't have these on land. Tell me that's not a face that only a mother could love.
Oh.
Funny thing. So talking about roly-polies.
Funny thing.
Did you know, again, my 5-year-old son taught me this. This is a real thing. Did you know they're more closely related to crabs and lobsters than they are insects?
I don't eat crabs or lobsters. I'm
not recommending you eat a roly-poly.
I don't want to have crabs.
I'm not What happens in San Francisco stays in San Francisco. Call back.
Yes, indeed. Laura says, yuck. I agree. So, no, I don't want to. Yeah, that really came out wrong. I don't want to have crabs. I don't want to have crabs as pets.
There you go.
I don't want to have pet crabs.
That's
I don't
fair.
want to have pet lobsters.
That's a fair point.
I don't want to have pet demon spiders. No pet demon spiders in my house. This is a demon spider free zone.
No, hashtag demon spiders on the Underdog Journey.
Yes.
So, Laura, the funny thing, the reason we're talking about this is the guest that we had on tonight, he runs a YouTube channel and an online shop where he talks
Demon
about
spiders.
Isopods, and various invertebrates. So, invertebrates is anything without a backbone. So it's going to be bugs of all types. But we're talking about the fact that he fits into a really popular niche. So how many times have I told you not to point at people, David?
That's Ariel.
I don't know what that means.
Here.
I thought she was a mermaid.
Well, actually, she was a server here, and they used to play the Under the Sea song. The guy would walk up behind her with the accordion and play the Under the Sea
That's pretty
song.
funny. That's pretty funny. That's really funny.
Yes, indeed.
So I just posted something on. I posted a comment from your mom here. You might want to read that comment. Oh, Mom, Laura L. Lyons Black. The internet. Once it's on the internet, it never goes away.
I've got a comment, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to laugh.
Oh, boy.
And I'm going to laugh a little bit. West is going to laugh a whole lot.
When we're off the internet.
When we're off the internet.
When we're offline. So,
Cambridge Analytica.
No!
And we're gone.
We lost Facebook again. You can't. Don't say those words. Don't do it.
I just want to see what happened.
So, but check Facebook. I have no idea. So
we're still up here so far.
Oh, thank goodness. So the reason, though, this guest was on with us, though, is primarily because he has a really healthy Facebook following.
Yep.
Really healthy Instagram and YouTube following.
YouTube, yeah.
YouTube is really where he shines, but he's building a really successful brand in what most people consider a crazy-ass niche, but it's not. It's a tight niche. And I'll tell you, one of the reasons I love niches is because...
That was Brandon.
That I remember him. So one of the reasons I love really narrow niches is because I know a guy who, as a side gig, you look a little distracted.
You know a guy as a side gig.
I know a guy who has a side gig, is selling, he sells scarves on Etsy with pictures of horses on them. Horse scarves, right?
Horse scarves.
Now this guy knows nothing about horses. He knows nothing about equestrianism. However, he makes between $400 and $1,000 a month, depending on the time of year, selling silk horse scarves.
Horse scarves.
That he openly...
Wait, do the scarves have horses, or are they scarves for horses?
They're pictures of horses.
Okay.
A little different. You're right. A little different market there. You gotta elaborate.
Well, I needed to know. I need to picture this.
He makes between $400 and $1,000 a month. This is as a side gig. From these scarves, he openly admits he buys from Alibaba and then resells on Etsy. I'm not going to mention the name of his page on Etsy because they'll shut him down if they found out he was doing that. But the point is, it's a super narrow niche. He's tried other types of products on there, other scarves, right? He's tried dogs. He's tried breeds of dogs. No, horses is where it shines. Horse people spend back-crap crazy amounts of money on things that you would not expect.
Found it.
The point is, exactly, it doesn't take much to search for, is what I'm trying to say, but horse people spend money on this stuff.
Yeah.
People who are in isopods spend money on this stuff. When you niche down, when you pick a very narrow niche, you're talking to a very specific group of people who are passionate about a subject. They will spend money, and that is your core business. That's your business you need to build.
80-20. 20-80.
I don't know what you're talking about.
80% of your revenue will come from 20% of your group.
That's a good point. It's true.
It's true. Across almost every market that's ever been tested.
Yes. So regardless of what business you want to start, whether it's photography, whether it's selling scarves online.
Little Red Hen.
Little Red Hen. Look, anything that you want to do for a business, find your niche. And that doesn't mean you can't sell to other people. That doesn't mean you can't branch out. But find your niche.
Yeah.
And this is a poor word, but it's the most accurate word. Exploit that niche. So we have people. We have our live studio audience talking to us. He's trying to
They're
convince them
waving.
to come over.
I did that.
Oh, I thought you were waving them over.
I ain't waving them over.
King
We've
King
avoided.
David over here on the stage.
We've avoided some random person come up and get on stage thus far. Let's not encourage.
Good point. But I have a feeling people at that table might attract more viewers than us. Is what I'm trying to say. It got very silent just then.
Pablo's over there. Pablo's pretty cool.
We call Pablo over here. He fits into our demographic, I feel.
Yes. We do very well with over 65.
We actually do. We need to get into reading data at some point.
Yes, at some point.
Because
We look
holy
at
moly, people are looking at me now that I screamed, yes we do. But it's true. It's because it's funny. We
Yes.
looked at our Facebook demographic data.
Yeah.
And 65 and up, we do really well.
Yeah, we do great.
I don't know what that says
So
at this
what's
point.
crazy is, we'll have like tonight, last week and this week, we had low live viewership. But the video from last week, even though it had very low live viewership, actually performed pretty well.
Yeah.
It wasn't a
We get a lot of replays. Our replay is killing it.
And it's crazy the number of people, like when we have a show that lasts almost 2 hours,
They'll watch
the
all the
number
way
of people
through.
they watch all the way through. It still boggles my mind.
People watch us all the way through. So if you're watching all the way through,
Thank you.
thank you. And look, come on down to the Hofbräu House. Let us know you watched all the way through. And
I'll buy you
we'll,
a beer.
We'll buy you a beer, and we'll know it because you actually made it to this point in this video.
Yes. But on that note, I think it's about time to wrap it up.
It is time. So I've been West, he's been David, and look, go to
You got it right.
Aquarimax Pets.
I was just on his website a moment ago.
Don't just go to his website. Here's what you guys need to do. This is a CTA for everybody watching this.
Un momento, por favor, señores and señoritas.
CTA, call to action.
Call to
This is
action,
a call to
okay.
action for everybody watching and listening. Do me a personal favor. Do David a personal favor. Go to Aquarimax Pets. Go to his most recent video on YouTube, Aquarimax, like your aquarium and then Max, Aquarimax. I'll post a link. Go to his most recent video and tell him you heard about him on the Underdog Journey.
Yeah.
We get nothing from it, but you know what? It's going to make him feel real good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Should definitely do that.
Russ Wilson is a great guy. Man, he is. And the funny thing is he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Before the video,
I met him 9 minutes before we went live.
Before the video, we started talking about some of his extracurricular hobbies.
Oh, it's awesome.
And he is a really just
man.
fun.
Yeah.
You would not expect it from a guy looking at him.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff he's doing.
Guys, it was great to have him on.
Yeah.
Remember to help control the pet population, get your dog or cat spayed and neutered, and kill all demon spiders that you come across.
And after you do that, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the follow, hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs down, leave a comment, literally have any action on any of our comment because the algorithm really doesn't care.
Yeah.
Just do something associated with our video and content, and we will talk to you soon.
Until then, we love you all.
Peace out. Bye.